Have you ever felt like you're always the one getting the short end of the stick? You're a genuinely good person, but somehow people always seem to treat your kindness like it's a weakness. Well, today, we're going to dive into a fascinating set of rules designed to completely flip that script. We're going to explore how to shift from being, the naive one, to being clever, successful, and always one step ahead of the game.
Let's just be honest for a second. Does this question kind of hit home for you? Do you find yourself constantly doing favors you really don't have time for, lending out money you never see again, or just getting that sinking feeling that your good nature is being flat out exploited? If any of that sounds even a little bit familiar, trust me, you are in exactly the right place.
So this really lays out the two paths, right? On one side, you've got the naive person. They're trusting, they often face setbacks, and they suffer losses because, well, they just assume everyone has good intentions. But on the other side, you have the clever person. They're successful, they're always ahead, not because they're mean or malicious, but because they understand the game. They understand people's real motives. This whole explainer is about how we make that shift.
All right, our first section is all about building up your defenses. Think about it. Before you can go out and effectively navigate the world, you have to secure your own position first. These first few rules, they're your foundation.
So we're going to be looking at 3 absolutely crucial steps here. Mastering the art of privacy, learning how to set some really firm boundaries, and maybe the most important one of all, becoming comfortable with that powerful little word, no.
So rule number 1 is that clever people move in silence. When you tell everybody your plans, your new business idea, that you're going for a promotion, you're not just sharing your excitement, you're actually inviting opinions, jealousy, and sometimes even sabotage. The clever approach? Work quietly, get it done, and then let your success make all the noise. Never, ever let them know your next move.
Okay, this one is huge. Boundaries are like these invisible lines that teach people how to treat you. If you're available 24/7, if you let people talk to you any old way, if you don't protect your own time and your own energy, you're basically sending out a signal that you don't value yourself. And if you don't, why on earth should they? Clever people have clear, firm boundaries, and that is precisely why they get respect. And this brings us right to our third rule. You have to learn to say no. A lot of us think saying no is selfish, but this quote just nails it, doesn't it? When you're saying yes to everything and everyone, you're not being kind. You're letting other people run your life. Saying no to something you can't or don't want to do is actually saying yes to your own priorities, your own goals, and your own well-being. Now, this next point can be a tough pill to swallow, but it connects directly to setting those boundaries. Look, in the past, maybe shyness was seen as modesty, as a virtue. But in today's world, it's often interpreted as weakness. If you're too shy to ask for the money you're owed or to speak up for yourself, people notice, and some of those people will exploit it. A clever person isn't aggressive, but they are assertive. They are not afraid to ask for what is rightfully theirs. So you've started to secure your own world. Now it's time to learn how to navigate it. This next section is all about understanding the real dynamics of social interaction and, yeah, the hidden motives that people often have. This quote really sets the stage. It might sound a little cynical, sure, but it's also incredibly strategic. It's a reminder that most actions, especially from people you don't know that well, are driven by some kind of self-interest. Understanding this isn't about becoming paranoid. It's just about becoming aware. Have you ever met someone who is just too nice? The over-the-top compliments, constant favors you didn't even ask for. Be careful. This can be what's known as the reciprocity trap. They're basically building up this bank of goodwill, making you feel indebted, so that when they finally ask for something, and it's usually something big, you'll feel way too guilty to say no. A clever person accepts kindness with gratitude, but they're always wary of a transaction that's disguised as a gift. Okay, this one is a total game changer. Naive people think they can change someone's mind by arguing with them. But clever people know that this is almost always a complete waste of energy. You almost never change someone's deeply held belief, but you almost always create an enemy or at the very least damage a relationship. Staying silent preserves your energy, it keeps the peace, and it allows you to sit back, observe, and really understand the whole situation before you decide to act. This rule is all about how you present your skills and your knowledge. Don't be that person who gives away everything they know on day one. A clever person understands the immense power of holding something back. Let's say you have 10 skills. Maybe only show 8 of them. That way, people always see you as a valuable resource. You become a necessity, not just some temporary option, because there's always more value you can provide down the line. All right, we've covered defense and we've covered social strategy.
Now we get to the very core of it all, the internal mindset. This final section is about how a clever person actually thinks differently from everyone else. And you can see the key difference right here in action. A naive person makes decisions based on immediate emotion, anger, excitement, guilt. And this leads to impulsive choices, like quitting a job in a fit of rage. But a clever person, they pause. They take a step back from their emotions and they think strategically. They ask themselves, okay, what are the pros here? What are the cons? What is my best long-term move? They operate from a place of logic, not just fleeting feelings.
This question gets right to the heart of rule number 9. Never show off. So many people waste an incredible amount of time and money on expensive clothes, fancy cars, the latest gadgets, all just to impress other people. A clever person knows a powerful secret. Those other people don't actually care that much. Seriously, they'll notice for a second and then they'll go right back to thinking about their own lives. Stop playing for an audience that isn't even paying attention.
And this brings us to the master rule, the secret weapon of every truly clever person. Never, ever let people know how smart you really are or what you're fully capable of. Let them think you're average. Let them underestimate you. Why would you do that? Because a rival who underestimates you won't prepare for you. You always keep the element of surprise. You control the game because they don't even realize you're playing at a higher level.
And that, right there, is the absolute key takeaway from all of this. Trying to look clever is just showing off. It's a performance for other people. Being clever is an internal state of mind. It's about silent observation, strategic thinking, and making the moves that benefit you in the long run, regardless of who's watching.
So, after all that, where do we go from here? What happens now? We've just walked through 10 really powerful rules, moving from a mindset of being vulnerable to one of quiet strength. But you have to remember, these aren't just 10 random tips. They're all interconnected pieces of a complete system for navigating the world more effectively. See, mastering your privacy makes it easier to set boundaries, and understanding that reciprocity trap helps you avoid pointless arguments. It all works together.
So I'm going to leave you with this one final thought. Don't try to master all 10 of these rules at once. That's just overwhelming. Instead, just look back at everything we've covered and ask yourself this. Which one rule can I start implementing right now, today? Is it just saying no to one small thing? Is it keeping one new plan completely to yourself? The journey to becoming clever doesn't start tomorrow. It starts with a single strategic choice. What will yours be?